Welcome to Bright Future Friday. We're excited to have you join us for today's live stream panel. Each week, we sit down with professionals from a variety of fields to hear about their journeys, experiences, and advice for their future. Whether you're exploring career options or just curious, you're in the right place. Let's get started. Okay, our first panelist for today is Favian Davis. He's a fashion designer. Um, He is a multifaceted artist with a focus on fashion design, styling, and creative direction. He was born in Baltimore City. As a designer, he tends to create with a complete vision, incorporating accessories, hair, makeup, shoes, and more. And Fabian is a detail-oriented artist who believes that his full creativity is expressed when he also takes the lead in styling the garments he creates. He finds inspiration in a wide range of cultures, shapes, silhouettes, and history, blending these elements to develop his own unique aesthetic. For him, fashion is about more than just design, it's about storytelling. When creating, he imagines the person who will wear the piece. What characteristics do they have? What energy do they bring into a room? And what's their story? He uses colors, shapes, and prints to tell these stories through clothing. Fashion and styling feel like creating characters, and he often sees his models as his alter egos, embodying the energy and story he wants to express. Our next panelist for today is Tashana Frank. She's an educator, author, and entrepreneur. Tashana Frank combines her expertise as a Baltimore City assistant principal with entrepreneurial spirit-authoring books, building educational products, and running a tutoring service, all rooted in her commitment to empowering Black youth and families. A dedicated educator, small business owner, and mother, she continues to grow her brand and impact from Baltimore outward.
Okay, my name is Devin, and this is Eric, and we're your host today. And we're just going to ask you a few questions, get to know y'all, see what y'all like, things like that. And my first question is, what inspired you to pursue the work you're doing now? This is for both of you.
I can go first. Good afternoon. So, I was inspired by my parents to enter into education. So, both of my parents were teachers. So, I wanted to follow in their footsteps. And then I also enjoyed educating our youth. So, that's what inspired me to be an assistant principal today. And then also, I always wanted resources for children and for adults as well. So that's what persuaded me to start my tutoring program and also become an author as well.
For myself, uh, what inspired me first would be my childhood. Um, Dealing with clothing, it brought me more comfortable with myself because I had to learn myself to understand my my style, my passion, and what I was into. So at first, growing up being a kid that was like shy and like a little insecure and didn't really like to be like seen, I knew that getting into clothing would make me have to be seen. So my inspiration, like inspired me, would be myself and other children, or just making other people feel comfortable in themselves.
Okay, so I would like to ask both of y'all something. What inspires you to pursue the work you're doing now?
So I am inspired by my son. He is 6 years old. He's in the first grade. So every day that I show up to my job, I want to make sure I put my best foot forward because I would want the same person to do the same thing for my son. So I want to make sure that what I'm offering to the students of my community and the families of my community, I want to make sure that my son receives those same services where he goes to school. So he's my inspiration on how I show up to work every day, and also building my business around supporting students who struggle academically with the tutoring program, and also continuing to write books for children to increase, their fluency with reading.
My inspiration today would be, I feel like I have a lot, but to narrow it down, I would say that more so building a legacy for my family is one. My grandmother was a fashion designer before I was, and I didn't know that, um, or didn't believe it. I knew that most of my family is artistic, but I always felt like the outsider in my family a little bit, dealing with being as though I was like kind of more into the arts than anybody else. Um, so I would say pushing my family's legacy, and the same as before, like pushing creativity and confidence in others, allowing other people to see someone else express themselves freely, to make other people feel comfortable to do the same.
Oh, thank y'all. My next question, it would be, what are the biggest or current challenges y'all seeing in y'all industry today?
I think a current challenge for me is understanding that sometimes you can't save everybody. And that's heartbreaking working in the school system because you want to make sure that all your students succeed and all your families succeed as well. So that would probably be the most challenging. But I know in order to shift that, as an administrator, I have to be able to provide resources to support students and families so that they can do their best to be successful.
A challenge for myself would be, um, kind of trusting the process. Uh, Being an independent artist, it gets hard to like keep trying to believe that like something's going to happen. You're going to get your breakthrough and stuff like that. Um, and then another one would be still sometimes criticism. I feel like as an artist, listening to too many people can kind of close you in and make you believe things that other people say because they want you to be who they want you to be, and not because they want you to be your best self. So I would say confidence and a little bit in believing would be two like main challenges for me.
Okay, thank you. So my next question would be, what was a turning point in your career?
I would say a turning point for me was during the pandemic. I was still a teacher at that time. And by me having to be in the house, it really got me thinking on how I could be more successful in terms of helping children. So that's when I started the tutoring program. That's where I wrote my first children's book. And then that's when I applied to be an assistant principal. So I would say that was the turning point for me in my career was during the pandemic.
I feel like I might be in the middle of what my turning point might look like. Um, right now, I would say me graduating school and mainly because I was able to watch myself grow as an artist, and now I see myself in a bigger light than I did before. I feel like I'm most passionate or like most free with expressing myself now. So I would say me graduating school or like just my college experience overall.
My next question is just for you and Fabian, and that would be, what's a failure or setback that taught you something valuable?
Uh, a setback for me. Um, a setback for me would be when designing. Sometimes if something doesn't come out my way, or if something doesn't come out as I expect, really. Um, learning how to take that constructive criticism and not being too hard on myself and knowing that I can try again. Another failure or setback would be, I think sometimes feeling like you have like a creative block is because you're just scared to create. And I feel like I had that at some point, or felt like I needed some kind of inspiration when really sometimes it's in front of you. You just need to create something. Um, I feel like those would be my setbacks. It's more so just like not being proud or like under estimating myself.
Okay. So this is a question for both of y'all. How do you see things evolving in the next 5 to 10 years?
So for me personally, I would like to continue working in the school system. Like I said, supporting my students and my families, being an administrator, and also continuing to write more books geared towards children and providing services for my tutoring program. In terms of education in 5 to 10 years, my goal is for, our students just to continuously, progressively do better and do well in, all grade levels, all subject areas, so that they can, continue to be successful.
For myself, I feel like I don't really know what that might look like for me. Um, mainly because I feel like my career might be a lot deeper than I think. In what I see, because I have so many different passions and they all tie into the same thing. But I want to do so much. Um, but now that I'm out of school, I definitely see full collections because I still have not done that yet. Um, I want to just put out a lot of work, more creative directing. I want to talk to more youthful people. And what was the last thing I was about to say? Um, and I also myself am currently writing a book. I don't really know how far I am into it. Yeah, I just started over the summer. That's something that I used to do a lot as a kid, and I'm just having back into it. I feel like I'm just planting little things to like lead up to what I really want. Outside of fashion and art, I'm mostly passionate about health and spirituality, and those are two things that I'm trying to learn how to tie into my art as well. So that's what I feel like my future will hold more, is tying all of my interests into one thing and finding a greater purpose for it.
Okay, so my next question is for both of you, and it is, what skills or traits do you have that you think are most critical for success today?
For me, I would think a skill that has been beneficial is definitely relationship building. I feel like dealing with students and families and people in general every single day, you have to have a really good relationship building skill. Also, just being knowledgeable, I guess, about what you're teaching, if that's the career that you choose to go in, um, going to school. Um, and just making sure, like I said, that you're just knowledgeable about how to approach people and, whatever you're teaching. Um, and also with the business aspect, just making sure that you understand like what that looks like. If you want to move forward in that avenue, or if you're writing, like you said, doing a book, making sure that you have, what you need in terms of writing skills and understanding the process.
For myself, I would say that patience is one thing that I really have that's really good for me. Because otherwise I wouldn't get anything done, because I kind of hate the process and I like um, the outcome of things usually. Um, but because I'm so passionate about getting things done, I have to be patient. Um, so my patience would be one thing that really, I would say I'm good at. Communication, it's just something I had to learn how to get better with, but I am way a lot better at it now. Um, and being a student, I like to learn, so I don't feel like I know everything, and I know I don't know everything. Um, I like to be a student more than teach. Uh, so that's one thing that's another one that I would say that work out for me, because I'm always open to learning and taking constructive criticism.
Okay, this is a question for Tashana. Who were your mentors and how did they impact your path?
Yeah, so at my school that I taught in, my mentor was my assistant principal at the time. So his name was Mr. Smith. So he really taught me how to deal with adults and how to support children. And then I will also say my parents, like I said, they taught for over 40 years. My mother taught in Baltimore City public schools, and my father did in PG County public schools. So they were definitely my mentors in terms of guiding me in the right direction for me to be successful with teaching and education.
My mentor would be my mother, because she's been through most of my process. I have a few teachers that I feel like also played a part. My fashion teacher in high school, because I feel like she's seen something in me that I kind of didn't see in myself at the time, and she constantly pushed me. Um, and then my one of my professors in college, Chrissy Day, she also pushed me a lot and kind of was hard on me to be better or like understand myself, even if other people don't understand me. So those would be my three mentors.
My next question, again, it would be just for Fabian, and that is, what advice would you give to someone just starting out on their fashion journey?
I would say be authentic first. Um, Usually do the things that make you nervous or feel like you might receive criticism, because otherwise you might be playing it too safe. So doing the things that you don't see is usually the best things to do. Um, Take inspiration from early on, like people early on, and don't try to copy what other people do. Take what resonate with you and turn things into your own. And I would say continue to always learn, because there's always something new to, like, that you can add into your things, or something to make yourself better.
Okay, so my next question would be, what do you wish you knew earlier in your career?
That's a hard one. Um, if I could think about something I wish I would have known earlier, I think it's that relationships are extremely important. So we stress the academic piece because, of course, we want everybody to be successful academically. But I think relationship building is key, because once you have a great relationship with the people that you're working with or the people that you're providing a service to, then they are more willing and more open to receive the information that you are giving to them. So I think for me, it will be making relationship building more of a priority.
One of mine would kind of be similar to that. I wish I knew the importance of a team. At first, I was a person that feel like I can do everything, or I enjoy to do every single thing. Now I understand that when you have a team, not only like things is run smoother, and the turn off things is a lot better. Um, Versus you trying to do everything, and maybe you did one thing more passionate than you did the next thing. So one thing probably is overlooked because you didn't do it your best, because you tried to add little details into everything. Um, and then I would say know my worth early on would be one thing that I wish I knew already. Uh, Even though I feel like it played a big part in who I am today, I feel like if I would have been knew who I was, then I would have been a lot further today.
My next question for both of you are, how do you see things evolving in the next 5 to maybe 10 years?
Um, I would hope that in terms of our children, that they understand like that they can accomplish anything, and that nowadays we have a lot of resources to pretty much support any type of dream or ambition um, that you want to succeed. So I'm hoping that within the next 5 to 10 years, people are able to really like conquer their goals, because we just have so many resources to support us with accomplishing our dreams.
Um, I would say outside of clothes, because I don't feel like that would fit into this. Um, but I feel like more of my um, worries is, or my hope would be that for like a better mental and spiritual connection. I feel like um, one thing that I always think about is like oneness with, you know, environments, and I feel like that's what my job is as an artist, is to like create my own environment to make everybody, to make others feel together. And I would say for myself, I would hope that I have that community of people and children that is seen or feel seen by others, be and feel accepted for their differences.
Okay, so my next question would be, if you can start your career over, what would you do differently?
If I could start mine over, I probably would have stayed a teacher a little longer because I do miss teaching students within the classroom. And then if I could start writing probably earlier, that would be something that I would probably change, writing like more books and things like that.
Um, Honestly, I probably would not start over, but if I had to start over, something that I would do different would be hmm, maybe value my work more. Um, I'm understanding now that it's a part of my process to like reflect and look back at my work and like to understand my growth and see it. And sometimes I look at my work that I probably was not as pleased with before because I had so many expectations for it. I look back now sometimes and I'm like, oh, it was actually good. So I feel like accepting what I did get through some of the work early on would have like made me feel like a lot less like I need to constantly learn or like try to be better, and let the growth play out by itself. Just be easier on myself, really.
Okay, my last question would be, what's a recent project or idea that excited you? And this question is for both of you.
For me, it would be the coloring book that I just released. So I did a coloring book this year that talked about like different African Americans in our history that we may not know about, but are extremely important to who we are as people today. Sometimes when we go to school, we learn about, Martin Luther King, Rosa Parks, Malcolm X, who are very prominent in our history. But there are so many other people that have dropped a lot of gems for us that paved the way for us to be, successful. So that was probably the most recent project that I did. And I think it's special to me because it can cater to both children and adults in terms of learning new information.
Um, Mine is kind of the same inspiration behind that. Yours. I recently just put my work into in art gallery with live models, and mine was about blackness, but um, I talked about how usually we discuss like when we talk about blackness is always like it stopped at like racism usually and versus way before then when blackness was royalty. So that was kind of what my project was about. And what's the word I'm trying to say? Um Expressing the royalty behind blackness versus sticking behind the idea of being like a victim, was reclaiming our blackness. So I feel like that was one of my favorite ones. And then I kind of did the same thing with my senior portraits, was tapping into Afrofuturism to enhance the black aesthetic and make it look more powerful and reclaim all the things that kind of get turned down.
Okay, so my last question is, what's one mistake you wish you can go back and avoid?
To be honest, I really don't feel like how things have transpired for me would have been a mistake, but I think what I probably would have did differently, I've only taught like elementary students. I think I would have probably tapped in more to like middle and high school. So maybe a mistake for me is only limiting myself with elementary students and probably opening up myself more so to middle and high school students.
A mistake for myself, I would say, is not advocating for myself a little bit. Um, Being afraid of like over promoting myself and um, just not putting myself out there enough, not speaking about my work or like being as loud as I should have been. Proud of who I like, proud of my creative process.
Okay, thank you for coming today. We would like giving us time of your day. I know that y'all probably are super busy, especially with school starting back up and stuff. So we would like to hand it off to our closing, and we appreciate y'all.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
for having me.
I totally forgot about the Q&A. Sorry, that slipped my mind completely. So what we're going to do now is we're going to like the people that's on the live stream, they're going to ask questions. We're going to read them to y'all, and then y'all going to answer the questions however you see fit. Okay, so one of the people in the live stream said, Mr. Davis, is it hard to network your brand?
Yes and no. Um, I feel like networking, you can network anywhere really. Just meeting people really is networking. I feel like a great way for myself to network is usually wearing my own clothes. Usually somebody end up saying that they like a pair of pants that I have on, and I just like, oh, I made them, or um, just being open to conversation really, because I feel like at first it was hard for me to network because I was not open to conversation and I would be always to myself. Like if I'm around a lot of people, I would like still like sit like be in a corner to myself, and now I allow it to happen. So I feel like it's only hard if you're not open to it.
Um, Someone said, "What is your favorite restaurant in Baltimore?" Mine is well, my favorite restaurant is what's that spot? Um, Well, I just said my other one. My favorite best one is hip hop.
I don't know if I have a favorite restaurant, but I would say my favorite food is Alfredo. So anywhere that got good Alfredo or something like that would be, I'll be okay with.
I would agree. My favorite food is Italian food. So any restaurant that has really good Italian food, I love to go to.
Okay, so they asked, what are you all's hobbies? Um, Me personally, I I don't do much outside of like working because like that's what I am. I'm like in a way of you could say a workaholic. I'm always working. I box for me. That's what I do mainly. You can call that a hobby, but that is something I seek a career in.
I love to travel. So I try to travel at least once or twice a year with either family or friends or with my son. So that's something I really enjoy doing. And I have two. I really enjoy music. So I really love attending concerts. So that's something that I really love to do.
Um, Aside of making clothes, a talent that I mean, hobbies I have is like I love working out. I love yoga, so practicing yoga is like one of my favorite hobbies right now. Um, Journaling here and there, a little poetry, um, and tapping to music a little bit. It's just fun and it's a good outlet. I feel like when I don't feel like doing other creative things. Um, yeah, and I'm trying to get into nature walks, but with the heat or the cold, if it's too hot or cold, it depends.
So my hobbies are probably travel, explore, um, meet new people. I say, and probably just like I said, um, really get out there and see what's happening in the world. Those are probably my hobbies.
Find inspiration and new ideas for your future. Remember, every career starts with curiosity and the first step. Keep exploring, keep asking questions, and we'll see you next time.